All right, welcome back from that short break. We are still on the Bakuya program.
She said what she said.
She said what she said, and we are still talking about the Idahobit. Now that's every phobia you can think about, and that is celebrated every year since 2005.
True.
What? Yeah. Since 2005 we are celebrating this, and this is done on the May 17th. It takes me to say that we should really tackle homophobia, and this is why. It is because human rights are universal for everybody. Yeah? Without doubt. There are consequences and impacts of homophobia, and that could be like physical or emotional. Like the physical forms and emotional forms of homophobia. Yes? Biggie.
Homophobia manifests itself in various forms. Physically, you could be attacked. Some niggas can come and attack you physically because they feel you're not worthy who you are. They want you to be in a certain way, but you present differently. Physically, they would even grab a mic from you. I've seen that happen. While at a ceremony, a gay person stands out to speak and a mic is grabbed off them. Yeah, because of their sexuality. And physically, they will not allow you to indulge in certain discussions. So you will be deterred from discussing about certain issues. When it comes to children, they'll say, what are you saying? You don't have children. What are you submitting? Or you're not a parent. You're not, as if you are not a child at one point. So
as if you're not human at all.
Yes, as if you're not human. They'll make sure they'll deter you from everything that you need to participate in. And humbly, because of homophobia, I took 2 steps away from active things like coaching, like this thing, what we call it, motivational speaking to young people or young sports persons. I deterred myself from that because of the fact that they will think I am fueling, I am promoting homosexuality. Regardless of what comes out of my mouth, everything is regarded, it's termed in regards to my sexuality. And yet there is a lot of things I have to speak to the young persons, and I opted out of coaching, but also motivational speaking to young sports women and men.
That is really painful. It's painful. Why would you rip off what someone likes doing or loves doing because of what? Your opinion. It's not fair.
Yeah, and in addition to that, one of the biggest impacts is actually the sad one, that the very, very sad one is death. The hate that this society throws at LABAQUA or LGBTQIA plus people brings about death, and it comes in different ways. See, first and foremost, when you tell people that whoever is out of this box is wrong, people take on the creator's role to choose who should live and who shouldn't. This is why you see mob justice. Currently, we are seeing what this tabled bill that has been... This is the second time it's being tabled, right?
Yeah.
We are seeing what it's doing to people. We are seeing people being picked out of... Even someone who just hates you and you're not even who you are, or who they state you're supposed to be, the mob justice comes to you and just decides that your life should end because you're not supposed to fit in this society. And as this is going on, this hate is going on, this discrimination, this exemption, this isolation, we internalize the fact that we are not accepted. We get that self-hate. We get the fear, the paranoia to exist according to that situation and state. We end up having suicidal tendencies. If some of us are not thinking of doing it, some of us are actually doing it. You know, and it doesn't happen because it's the right way. It's because we just want the hate to end. So this situation, this hate, this homophobia is bringing about people to end their lives. It's bringing about a state whereby anyone who has their own self-hate can be able to actually hurt you. It's bringing about anyone who feels like you're evil because they've been told and preached to the gospel that you're not supposed to be in this world, and probably the Creator has given you the right to be able to sieve out people. You end up hurting people's children. So this situation, the biggest consequence we're having right now is suicidal tendencies, suicide, and also death, courtesy of society, and which is wrong, because if you actually say that we all believe in God, God is love. So if you actually choose to end people's lives, that's wrong. So that is one of the biggest impacts going on.
I mean, literally everyone, okay, not everyone, but people do take alcohol. But now with whatever is happening, like the only way someone can actually believe that they are relieving pain and relieving stress and trying to forget or trying to keep up with what's happening is actually taking more of the drugs and alcohol, and it's also affecting how they think. It's affecting how they work, if they actually do work, because people now are even scared of actually going to their workplaces because of what's going on. So basically, there's a lot of cases of overdose, you know, a lot of alcohol intake. And it's
something to, I think ease up my...
Yeah, so basically that's why those are the but I now it's like too much, you know, it's excess, you know, so people are becoming a nuisance, I would say, and it's not intentional, but the intake is too much, and you know the impact is very, very
You can't really lose like 2 jobs in a year, or about 2 jobs in a month, and don't take a drug,
right?
You can't, like, you know, I don't know, lose 2 people in a row in 1 month.
I know we've put focus so much on the physical consequences and impact of homophobia, but the key also is the economical impact, where we have LGBT persons stigmatizing themselves because you know they feel they're not good enough to go and seek employment, but also those that seek employment, their investments, they fear to invest because, again, homophobia in society, destroying their property, but also that type of attitude, but also money, financial resources has been used against the LGBT community when it comes to blackmail. Because there's the assumption, again, we previously talked about myths and misconceptions around LGBT people and, you know, the work that we do in terms of there's a lot of money. So we'll have people infiltrate the community just to, you know, seek that financial resource, as the myths are saying. Yeah, so to highlight that.
Alright, so listeners, this is what we are talking about. These are the things that will happen. These are the things that happen to us when you do these kind of things. When you're hating on me, I'm going to take drugs. You're killing me. Emotional damage. You're damaging me. God.
To add on what Bax talked about, because of these economic impacts, we have parents, caretakers, blackmailing you economically. For example, I am paying your tuition, I am paying your fees.
Black tax.
Yes. If you do not love who I want you to love, I'll chop that money and you won't go back to school. And then also there's been like, because of the anti-homosexual bill, we've seen students leaving school because like right now, you can't hide anymore.
Thank you.
So there's been that internalized homophobia of like, you know what, let me leave school and maybe just go and just be myself, and being yourself is you doing the wrong things. And adding to that, there was the internalized homophobia, where now the homophobia outside now starts to run on you. Now you start also feeling like, oh my god, I am evil. Oh my god, I like. So you will try to attempt to prove your heterosexuality. You will try to fake being straight, and then you try being discriminatory to yourself.
The heterosexuality in
You become temporary.
You want to display the heterosexuality in you. What you will do, you will pretend to be heterosexual,
Yes.
as opposed to homosexual.
Yeah.
And yet it's quite very hard to pretend to be what you ain't. I've tried it, but I can't be heterosexual. Unfortunately, I can't.
So that leads you to bad marriages. You go into relationships that are violent. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so it is common, by the way, like to really graduate from denial to really accepting yourself. Starts from you being like, my boyfriend.
Yeah,
they're doing things to you that you don't even like.
It's very deadly, like experiencing homophobia, because as Gazelle, a lesbian woman, actually the self-hate and self-judgment, actually I think I've reached that point. It's something I'm struggling with, because the community, the social media, the church, even family, like my mother keeps sending me these just voice notes of her singing. She has never openly told me anything, but she just keeps sending those voice notes,
singing what?
Because she's in the choir, in the church choir. So she would sing and sing along with me. But what is she trying to say is probably trying to tell me that I know who you are.
Yes.
But then now reaching this point, I feel maybe I am wrong. I'm beginning to hold myself. I'm beginning to judge myself, because that's what everyone is saying.
Yes.
That means I am not living right like I'm supposed to, or as the society is assuming me to live.
Damage. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. It's so funny. The consequences and impacts we are going through is, I'm going to say, beginning with the fact that these people say we want attention as human beings. Trans people are confused. So I'll give you an example of when I went to a health facility to get treatment. I had to see a doctor. When I reached the reception, I told the receptionist that I needed to see a doctor, and then she told me the doctor was in. So after me handing in my documents, because I use an insurance card. When I handed in the insurance card, it had my dead names. So the receptionist was like, "No, this is not you." So she told me, "Put here your fingerprint." I put my fingerprint, my thumbprint. It really read that it was me. But the person she was seeing physically was a different person. No, it is okay, but then if a person presents their thumbprints and it really proves that this is the person, the responsible for this card, then why would you question that person? That you're not the same person, because the names I'm seeing don't really align with the person I'm seeing physically. So I was denied the service. I was sent away. So in trying to avoid, to cause a lot of chaos, I had to move out, and I didn't get the service that I really wanted. So you see, many LGBTQI persons today have decided to stay indoors. People have HIV. Many LGBTQI persons have HIV, but they are refusing to go to facilities because the bill says so that any person who comes close to this person will be maybe taken in the
And also hard.
And so the people are choosing to stay indoors, and many are going to lose their lives. Yeah.
But why would these health workers be homophobic?
And then they swear oath
they're supposed to just what? Provide service, right? You had something to say.
Yeah, just to sum up, with the whole homophobia, there is lots of destruction of property, and mostly if it's known that it's actually for a homosexual person, like even just knowing that you are associated to either this property or from a particular location, you are being targeted. So destruction, consequences that come with homophobia, having destruction of property, like banning of property, even raiding.
Since we are celebrating the International Day Against Transphobia, Lesphobia, Homophobia, Gayphobia, and the rest of the phobias, I want to relate this strongly to the anti-homosexuality bill in Uganda. We see the manifestation of all the phobias is what we're going through. Even we sneaked into this office to record this particular podcast because of fear of attack and the fact that they can easily gang up on whoever is in this premise, because this premise is known to the entire Uganda that this is where we recruit people from, and yet that's false. That's part of homophobia that is happening. We are termed as persons that are recruiting people into homosexuality, yet that's not true. We are simply bringing together everyone who feels different, who is lesbian, who is bisexual, who is trans, who is gender non-conforming, so that we can equally amplify our voices to be heard.
This brings about the need to create more inclusion, inclusive culture, so raising awareness on language and offensive words. Yeah, this is how we can challenge the homophobia. Yeah, we're going to increase more inclusivity and emphasize more on positive talk like diversity. Yeah, everyone can live, right? Talk about diversity.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, if we grew up knowing a female and a man, now the world has evolved. That's why we don't have the dick again. That's why we to China TV ya chibuto. Things have evolved. We have smartphones. Do you know that you can shop where in your convenience? In the toilet?
Yeah.
We didn't do that, years back. Now things have evolved. These things were there even before we knew that were there. Just because now you have social media and things are closer to you doesn't mean they're new. This is not foreign. Just because your grandma, your ancestor wasn't seen doing it, doesn't take the fact that they did it.
But
They did it.
homophobia.
They did it. We didn't just come from heaven. Nobody came from heaven. It came from somewhere. You understand? Now, let's stop wiseacking. Stop bullying. Please stop bullying. Please stop thinking for people. Stop trying to rectify people's whatever they do decisions. Yeah. Alright, we are wrapping up by saying we need to come together. Stop this violence and whatever. I call it wiseacking because why would you sit at your home and start feeling like no, you're not supposed to love that person. Don't do that. Don't put on like that. Don't change your gender. Why? It's my life. You understand? Anyways, my producer says we are out of time.
I come to you with a sensational message, precise, to the point. You did not choose who you are. You did not choose who you are. You did not choose who you are, and no one should tell you who you should be. So just embrace you. Cut out all the noise and just embrace you and love you. Idahobit is about you, embracing you, loving you, accepting you. Because at the moment we see who we are told to fight who we are. So stop fighting who you are and embrace who you are. In backs, sliding off the hair on the side without hair. Just embrace who you are and don't mind anyone else. Protect you, love you, embrace you.
All about
This
you.
day is about you.
And we would like to encourage you all to take an active role by spreading the word about the importance of Idahobit. By the way, you can come up with hashtags. Work on you can work on an art piece. Could be a song, could be a poem, could be anything on social media. Anything. Show up your rainbow in solidarity of the LGBTI persons. All right. So my producer says, judge me for the person I am, not my sexuality. All right. Like in 1 minute, as we're wrapping up this topic, let's have Frankie.
All right. I would say denying us our identities and treating us less unequal will not change the fact that we are who we are, and let's keep embracing who we are. Yeah, and love you all.
Together, always united in diversity.
Hallelujah.
A lot to continue, but just a caution to the religious leaders: preach radical inclusivity.
Okay.
Stop monopolizing God. God is for everyone, regardless of who you are.
# treat yourself with respect.
With that said, don't forget to subscribe to all our channels on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, and we would love to hear from you. Kindly give us give us all the feedback. We are all here for all of it. So until next time, we've been
But we are together.
She said what she said.